Yo, what's going on, everybody? Oh, wow, sheesh. Okay,
Yeah.
Gil, Rocky, what's up?
No, no, the chat's popping off, as the kids may or may not still say. I
Yes.
don't really know. I don't talk to kids, so I don't know what they say.
Good to see you guys. Yes. Oh, y'all was waiting at the front door. Okay,
Yeah.
got you, got you. Oh my goodness. So, yep, it's us, me, L. We here on a lovely Tuesday evening, Tuesday night, wherever you guys are at in the world. We were just playing catch up before we were getting started and just talking, shooting the breeze, and there were some conversations that came up that kind of sparked some ideas that we're gonna save for later on. But
Mm.
welcome, 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 welcome. We're glad that you guys are here. Yeah, we are glad that you guys are here. It's good to see you guys. Good to see you guys. How has everyone been doing while I'm doing that? Again, welcome to the Millionaire Council. Typically, we go live every other Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and then wherever else you're at in the world. Um, yeah. Yes, yes. Um, and wherever else you're at in the world, as long as you hit that notification bell, smash that like button, you share, you follow, do all the things, you're gonna catch us live. Yeah, my goodness. Hey,
Hey,
hey.
how's it going?
So it's official that it's officially going to get banned. TikTok is officially going to get banned.
Yeah, like January 19th, it's slated to be banned. But I heard that Donald Trump might try to save it because the propaganda and misinformation helped get him elected. So,
Hmm.
he likes it. However, since Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk are trying to get all buddy buddy with him, they don't like it because it's taking viewers and users away from their platforms, Meta with Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter or whatever, X.
Hmm.
So that's going to be funny. Like, let's see
Hmm.
what happens. But it's gonna suck for a lot of people who, make money and like primarily only use TikTok because like it's hard to, like how you are on TikTok, you can't really translate it over to Instagram or, Threads or YouTube, for example. So it's going to be pretty interesting.
Right.
Yeah, because TikTok's algorithm it's very different, but
Hmm.
like it does help you find like a lot of like different types of creators.
Hmm.
But it's like I don't know. The thing I didn't like about TikTok, like I might download it just for, just until it apparently goes away. Or re-download it rather. Like, but the thing I don't like about TikTok is that like it really sucks you in,
Yes.
and uh, I don't really like that. And like it can really just like I could feel how it just like rewires my brain, and I don't like it.
Hmm.
I don't like it because I'm like It was like really like just kept showing me like just content to like make you just like hate men and I'm like, I don't hate men though. Like I can understand I understand a lot of the grievances and annoyances that women have with men and like a lot of them are rightfully so. But it was just like I don't want to see this every single time. And what's
Right.
really annoying about TikTok is like you're sitting here watching a video and like the person is taking a long time to get to the point of what they're trying to say. And then like
Hmm.
some like what they end up saying is just like nothing. Like not nothing in terms of, they're just saying a bunch of like gibberish, but it wasn't anything I didn't know. It wasn't anything new. I
Hmm.
didn't gain anything from this. I just wasted like, like 3 minutes of my time trying to watch a video to see like what is this person trying to say.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
But like it's
Gotcha.
such a like, it's like gambling as pretty much every other social media app is. So like sometimes it'll throw you things that are new information and it's like interesting and fascinating. You do learn a lot, but then also there's like just garbage. Other times it's just like conspiracy. Other times it's
Hmm.
just some just wackadoo stuff. And it was just it's literal brain rot. Or it'll just be like somebody dancing or somebody like these like fun games that people are playing, and they'll just keep showing you the same game that people are playing. And I'm like, I don't really care. I don't care about this. So
Right.
there's just
Gotcha.
not much you can really do.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Got No, that makes sense. That makes sense
Mhm.
because at one point in time, I did have TikTok, and I did realize like how easily you can get sucked in, and again, like you were saying too, L, like just the amount of content that's on there. You could like one video and you will get a bunch of videos that were similar or kind of related to the one that you like to see if you're like those ones. And I remember watching Bounty Hunter D. Um,
Okay.
he he's on TikTok, he's on YouTube, pretty much. And of course he goes gets bad guys, and he also does repos and everything else. And so like the first couple of videos, I'm like, okay, like cool, great, I get it. But after those videos, like I went to his main page and was just watching part one, two, or three of the same video. And by the time I realize it, it's almost 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, holy crap, like I have to go to work in the next like I had to get some sleep so I could wake up to go to work in the next like 4 or 5 hours. And I know me because of the fact that because I don't watch some of the same videos, I probably won't be able to go to bed really until around about like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
When my alarm clock goes off, it goes off at like 5:45, 5:50. So I'll
Mm.
probably get like 2-ish hours of sleep. And yeah, so it was I know for me, it was a struggle.
Mm.
And I gotta get rid of it. I have to. I
Yeah.
have to because if not, I'm just going to like you said, just consume so much to the point my brain rots, and I'm like, ugh, can't do it. Now, don't
Yeah.
get me wrong. Like I've seen some good videos on there that are actually
Sure.
worth it, or worth the
Sure.
engagement
Sure. Yeah.
for sure. Yes,
Yeah.
but on the other ones, ugh,
Yeah, it is. It's like gambling. You keep going to the next one, the next one, the next one.
mm-hmm,
It's like,
mm-hmm,
it's like when you're eating a bag of Doritos. It's just like, "Oh, I'll just have one more. I'll just have another. I'll just have another." And it's just like you're just waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting until like something good happens.
mm-hmm.
And maybe Doritos wasn't the best example, but like, yeah, it's like gambling. It's like you're just doing the slot machine. It's like I'm gonna win. I'm gonna win.
Mhm.
I'm gonna win. I'm gonna win. It's gonna be something that I want. And then it's like, oh, I don't want any of this. And you press back, and then it's like it shows you a video. And usually, like when you press back, the video that they show is like something good. So it's like they know, or
Mhm.
like it's a very intelligent algorithm. So you kind of stay on it. And then like you watch like, okay, it's like, oh, I really like this creator, or like, oh, this creator made a new video. It's like, okay, let me watch this. And it's just like they just had that just like, you know, like just like in the tank, in the barrel, like just locked and loaded that video that they know is gonna keep you on. And it's like, it'll be like 10 o'clock and you're like, I could do this till like 10:15, and then it's 10:15. It's like, 5 more minutes. Yeah, 5 more minutes. And then and like YouTube does this too, but I know that TikTok does this. And like if you hold like the screen at a certain place, it starts to fast forward times two. So like it starts to go faster.
Mhm.
And that just makes you stay on the app because you have to if your finger is on it. And I noticed I was like watching I'm not really doing a thumbs up. Like, chill out. Like, that is such a weak thumbs up for you to render that. Anyway, like you're pressing down and you're holding it to go, like 2 times speed, and it's just like you're just like watching it just, to get the information as fast as possible because you're just trying to, see if this video is even worth it, but the video is like 6 minutes long and it's like I could probably just finish this in 3. Oh, this video is 4 minutes long. I could try to finish it in 2. Just to see if like what they say is worth it, and then you don't really know if what it's worth it until like there's like 30 seconds left of the video. And like
Mhm.
I was just getting so tired of it, and just how siloed you get into the video into this part of TikTok, and it's just like there's so much other videos and content just swirling around and crap, and it's like I don't know what else is even happening. And
Mhm.
then you just feel very, just in a massive echo chamber.
Right. I
Mhm.
get that.
Yeah.
I get that. I get that. Yeah.
I mean,
And I'm
oh,
go
you
ahead.
wanna go? Oh. Like,
No,
the
go ahead.
troublesome part about flagging things that you don't really wanna see, or, like, thumbs downing it, or what have you, is that, like, I don't know, like, does that really work? And sometimes you don't really wanna, like, flag everything because, like, if, like, let's say you watched a video and it was, like, 3 minutes long, and about 80% of it, you liked what they were saying and you agreed. You're not like it, but it's like it wasn't really enough to like the video, but it wasn't enough to like flag it. So it's just kind of like, eh, you just kind of let it ride. And then,
Mhm.
but TikTok, because you watched it, so it's like counting the seconds that you view it. It's like, is this, it's like, okay, well, this person likes this thing enough that we could probably keep showing, this user this kind of content. And then you keep getting shown that. Like, unless it's, like, very bad, I can understand, but, like, if it's like, "Alright, this is, like, I don't know, 60% interesting," then it's like, is it worth it?
Woo! Mm.
Yeah.
Ooh, man. Gil, I'm glad you said something because um there were some TikToks that I saw, and like the way how they were quoting certain parts of the Bible and everything else. I'm like, y'all really don't understand what's going on. Like, why in the world are you taking this part of the Bible out of context for one, out of content for two, it then switching it in a way where you're going to get like 500 views and 500 likes because of these little sound bites that grabs people's attention. I'm like,
Mm.
I can't. Like, I can't. I'll literally go to the video, grab my Bible out, and just see it, and I'll just shake my head like, this ain't right. Like, what y'all saying is not right. Like, y'all gonna lead a whole bunch of people astray. And by the time I figured out how to actually record myself for a TikTok and everything else, I'm like, you know what? I'm not even gonna waste the time nor the energy because I know that once the smoke starts to come and once people start saying, "Oh, you're not saying," like, I don't have time for that. Like, you know, maybe in my late 20s, I'll probably give you the time of the day. Probably would. But now I'm like, nah, I ain't got time for it. Sorry,
Mhm.
I'm not gonna debate it. I'm not. I'm just gonna be like, nah, you're wrong. Here's the reason why you're wrong, and you should probably go do your own research and revisit what you're saying because it's not right. It's not right. Nah.
Mhm.
Yeah, younger days. Oh yeah, I'll go to the toe with you. Younger days, definitely. Now that I'm a little bit older, a little bit wiser, I'm like, no, comment section. Yeah, I think you maybe revisit that passage just a little bit, and rather than like read into it, I'm gonna need you to read from it because you going way too deep when it's not supposed to be. Like, stop it, calm down. So it's just and again, it's just one of those things where I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna take my time with it. Yeah. Um. mm, no, I get that one.
I can dig that. It's very easy to fall into like, particular content. Um, and I feel like it's definitely based on gender as well, like because like usually for I guess like if I don't know if you necessarily sign up and state your gender on like these on like TikTok. I can't remember, or maybe because you sign in with like Facebook. But I don't know. I feel like I signed it with my cell phone number. I don't know. Regardless, maybe your profile picture they could tell that's your girl, or maybe from like your front camera they can tell
Mm-hmm.
on your cell phone, um, or email address or something. Yeah, like, but I think because like they may know your gender or like you know there is going to be like you know we're gonna be skewed into different kinds of levels of content. For example, like I wanted to mention, a lot of men's Twitters has a
Mm-hmm.
lot of like adult content on it,
Yes.
and I don't see that. I mean, let me actually look right now. I haven't gone on Twitter in a while. I keep saying like, "Is this your phone number?" And I always just refresh the page so it goes away. So I'm like, you don't need to freaking know. Okay, so the for you, um, okay, that's positive content. And just something funny. Biden is signed a work from home deal. That's cool.
Nice. Nice.
Um, no, I don't really see porn. What is this? This is Megan the Stallion, but it's just a bunch of her looks. She's not even Like she's not even like dressed like that scantily clad. It's like this is still appropriate. Um, the Luigi Mangione guy, who we're going to be talking about today. No. Yeah, no, I haven't. I don't really see any like adult content really. I would say the most adult content I saw was just a bunch of like a collage of Megan the Stallion photos.
Yeah. I'm a touch on what Rocky said.
Mm-hmm.
He said, keep your algorithm pure because, oh my gosh, like on not only on my normal Twitter page, but also on my gaming page, and then quite often on the Melanated Council's page for Twitter. Like, I see a lot of adult content, a lot of like the women in like very provocative clothing and very provocative poses, and I'm just and it happens like every morning. By the time I get up and get ready to go to work, every morning I'm just like, nope, delete, nope, block, nope, block, nope, block. And I got to the point. I got to the point where me and the missus, we were sitting down, we were talking like, listen, like this is what I'm dealing with every day in the morning. She said, what do you mean? And so I literally, I think I went on to the Melanated Council's page on Twitter, and I showed her a pic. It was some chick in like a very skin tight dress, showed everything, and like this is what I'm getting first thing in the morning. Like when I'm getting ready to go to work, I'm getting this. Like I don't even care like who it is. Like no, I'm going through not only this one, but I got 2 other pages I'm going through and I'm deleting. Like, hey, this is my favorite color. What's your favorite color? It is ridiculous. I'm like, I no, like I gotta get ready to go to work. Like, no. And so she's like, for real? I'm like, yes, like every day, and it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop.
Has it always been like this, or was this kind of like since Elon took over? Or
This I've been dealing with this for like the past 3 months. Yeah,
so this
I've
is
been dealing with,
recent.
yeah, I've been dealing with this for the past 3 months. Like prior to the 3 months, it was cool. Like I would not be getting anything suggestive like that, anything like X-rated. No, me granted on my on the gaming page for my Twitter. Yeah, I've been seeing some like porn videos that get on there for whatever reason. I'm like, nah, no, get rid of that. Not interested. Get rid of that. No. And that's calmed down a lot, a whole lot. Yeah. No, like and like I was telling, I think me and you, El, we were talking once. And I told her like, yeah, like I'm going over to Blue Sky because it's not as bad. I mean, granted, do I see some weird stuff that comes across my timeline? Yeah, but the way how the algorithm works on Blue Sky, I actually have the ability to delete anything that's related to the original post. So I don't see none of that at all.
Nice.
And it works. It works for my mental. It works just in an overall mood because there's times where I'm like, I'm not trying to see none of that. Like, keep my TL clean and pure because I'm not for that. No, not at
Yeah.
all. Like I want to talk to people who are, you know, level-headed and decent folks who really just want to talk to other people. That's it. I don't care if you're a guy. I don't care if you're a girl. Like I don't care. Like as long as you have a decent head on your shoulder and you just really want to say hi, bye, how you doing, that's fine with me. I can ride with that. Any of the other weirdness, you can take that back over to Twitter. You can take that back to Twitter, you know.
Mm.
So blue sky for right now has been very has been good to me. I'll say that much. Has been very good. I've talked to quite a bit of people on there. Followed a few. Got some follow back. And really, it's just really nice. Overall, it's really nice, and I'm impressed. I'm
Yeah.
impressed.
Yeah, me too. Like I joined it like a year ago, but I haven't really I didn't really use it up until just like recently.
Hmm.
Can't remember why I decided to kind of go back. I think like people on threads were talking about it. I was like, oh, let me check it out. I was like, oh, okay, this is actually it's actually really cool. Like I really
Hmm.
think it has a whole lot of potential to become like very big.
Hmm.
Like, it definitely has like it definitely has the groundwork and like the foundation for it for sure. Mhm. Click through before seeing it. Oh, that's cool.
Hmm.
That's really cool. I get that. What is the upside down triangle? Like a
Hmm.
funnel? I know that like businesses sometimes do that. Like when they're doing like town hall presentations. Like I was in a company like 8, 10 years ago where they said like, yeah, now we got to show like the funnel upside down triangle thing. I think so. Yeah, I think it was an upside down triangle if I recall correctly. But yeah. Oh, okay, gotcha. I don't know it. I don't know what that meaning is, the upside down triangle. Um, but yeah, I did want to say how interesting it is. Um, because like I hope I'm not spoiling this for anybody, but like social media affects us, makes us
Hmm.
see things, see other people, see certain people differently, and
Hmm.
might start to judge and think and second guess and um for example, like with this Wicked movie, they're calling it woke and blah 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 when the Wicked movie is based off of the Wicked play or the Wicked musical, which is based off of the book Wicked, which is like they didn't really change anything. Well, I never read the book, but like the Wicked musical I've seen and I saw the Wicked movie and it's like the musical. And that's what the musical is about, and the musical is like maybe 20 years old at this point.
Hmm.
It's been around like yeah, I would say give or take is about probably about 20 years old. So, um now with like social media and just everything going on and and like within politics and like, we're more so like a, quote unquote identity politics and, quote unquote culture wars and whatnot. People are seeing things through a different lens. And if you are pretty much if social media pretty much taught you that you see something like Wicked and the green woman is played by a black actress and you're going to feel hurt by this or you have to complain or feel some type of way, well, that's because you were essentially taught to feel that way.
Hmm.
So um So I was thinking how with Twitter, for example, and especially how like you see like a lot of men see like a lot of like just adult content. So it kind of goes to show that the social media knows that you are male, you're a man, you're at least a man interested in women. So it's showing you um adult content like women, I'm guessing sexy women, beautiful women, and then also showing you things that make you angry, like just regular Twitter posts or like news articles and like or retweets, quote tweets or whatever with the news article, things to make you angry, things to make you feel some type of way, and then another like sexy woman, and then more content to make you, I guess, like rage bait, angrily engage, so on and so forth, and then another sexy woman. So most people don't know, or I guess like we all kind of know, but like a lot of people aren't cognizantly aware of their own selves of how that's affecting them.
Mhm.
So I can only imagine how a 17-year-old or 20, even like a 22-year-old, somebody in college, like a young boy in college might be feeling or might not even realizing how this is shaping their mind because like they probably look at porn or whatever, not think it's like a big deal to see like a sexy woman on their page, but it's totally different from like looking at porn, which is just looking at videos of sexy women versus looking at Twitter and you see a sexy woman and then some racist content and then something to make you angry and then another sexy woman. That really f's up your brain.
Mhm.
Like that's incredibly bad. Uh, and as someone who's like been on Reddit since I was in college, like 10 plus years ago, I definitely saw how like Reddit was affecting me. And granted, things weren't really like as crazy and as algorithmic back then. I could pretty much curate my own algorithm, and also I
Mhm.
was using like a third party Reddit app, which I created. I subscribed to my own the subreddits that I liked. If a subreddit was getting, if I was no longer interested in a particular subreddit, I stopped seeing that, and I just kept it moving. Now with the Reddit app, you can't really control that. It will just start showing you things
Mhm.
that it's like, oh, I no longer subscribe to this subreddit, but it's still showing me things from it
Mhm.
sometimes. And it's like I don't want to see any of this like at all, and it's just still doing that, and it's still forcing content in my face that I don't want, and
Mhm.
there's
Mhm.
nothing you can really do about it. Sorry, let me look through the comments, but like I have a feeling like that's why what's making people, especially like men, so like angry at women. And but like I don't understand, like I mean this could kind of tie into what we're going to be talking about tonight, but I
Mhm.
do think that like you know that kind of content just back to back to back to back constantly, and you're also addicted to it, and it's confusing you, and it's just like rewiring the hell out of your brain
Right.
is really effing up a lot of people, especially young men.
I agree. I agree with you. I excuse me. I agree with you because I remember growing up and like, of course, the one thing that was relatively close to what social media was going to be would be MySpace, Tagged, High Five, where like you get on, and of course, you get on with the intentions of meeting some of your friends and how their pages were all decked out. And just kind of not necessarily wanting to be famous, but really just capturing yourself in that moment. And so it's just one of those things where it's like, yeah, it's cool, it's great, nothing really major, nothing weird was going on. But over time, as social media has changed and how a lot of content can be made online, and a lot of times those online content can be very much sexualized, and we all know that sex sells and all that other good stuff. We get that.
Yeah.
And it's really a huge moneymaker, a big moneymaker. And
Mhm.
so when you have kids who are in the social media age where they have smartphones and tablets, and they can access those same sort of content creators on platforms that are not necessarily age restricted, it sucks you in, and it creates that funnel for you to get sucked into some other stuff, especially as you get older and you're able to consume more content, especially if it's involving in the arena of sex. Is like, yeah, it will play a huge role, and it will screw, especially like young men, young boys. It'll screw them up, screw them over. But even then, like some of the young girls and young women, they get they get it just as much. They get it
Mm.
just as much, and it warps their mind just as much. So it's really a bad time, really. But at the same time, it's like you got to be careful. You got to do what you got to do. You can't monitor and protect them from everything, but you can at least protect them from some things,
Mhm.
and at least explain to them like, hey, be careful. This is what's going on. This is what it's talking about, and really do your best to protect yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely true. Like, um, I do want to talk about what happened, I guess 2 weeks ago. I think it was like the day after our last stream, if I recall correctly. Um, it was when Luigi Mangione um shot and killed the CEO of United Healthcare. I believe his name was Brian
Mm-hmm.
Thompson. Kind of sad. I don't really remember his name. I just know him as CEO of United Healthcare. Um, and it was clearly a very thought out, planned attack. Like, it wasn't an accident. He wrote on the bullets, deny, defend, oppose, I think. And it's like what apparently like insurance companies do.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what he ended up doing. Uh, Luigi supposedly had um, a back injury that he had received from surfing, and um, I guess it was, uh, just I guess it was something that he wouldn't be able to heal from
Mm-hmm.
or heal properly from, and I don't know his medical history. Like, I don't know if like United Healthcare like was his insurer. I don't know if they weren't able to help him or if they kept denying him. Apparently, he came from
Mm-hmm.
a very wealthy family. Was he even the CEO? I believe so. Yeah, yeah, he was definitely the CEO of United Healthcare. Um, but apparently, Luigi came from a very like wealthy family, and Um, very intelligent. He was like the valedictorian of his all boys school. Um, I think he went to UPenn. I don't know. I don't really know or remember what he studied. And yeah. Um, what else? Like from some of his social media, from like Twitter, like it seemed like he was into like Jordan Peterson and like Peter Thiel. Like I heard it was described as like right wing libertarian, kind of like a he was like gray pilled. I think I've never heard of that pill color. I'm not too versed in the pill colors, to be quite honest. Mhm. The fact that he had wealth and he couldn't do anything about it. Yeah, kinda, kind of that realm, like, he seemed to, have, like, some progressive kind of thoughts, but mostly just kinda, like, right wing, talking about, like, um, birth rate and, like, I don't know, just, like, that kind of mindset. He read apparently a lot of books. They found his Goodreads. But, yeah, like, trying to think where I was trying to yeah, like, he was an intelligent person, but, like and, like, the assassination seemed to be, like, very, like, thought out, and then after the assassination how many pills are there? I have no idea. Like, after the assassination, it seemed like of course, this was just, like, a very big story, like, understandably so. However, why is it understandably so a big story? Why was this particular shooting or this assassination, this killing, why was this the biggest news story for the past like it was what, like 5 days straight about? 5, 6 I mean, it's I think they're still talking about it. Um, but like mm, but yeah. And correct, Rocky, like they're like I don't think it was United Healthcare. I think it was New York was offering 10K for info about the suspect. Redux about yeah, like it was crazy. That was like 10K, and then like what else ended up happening was that um the the McDonald's worker who called the police and found Luigi Mangione um like I think it was a woman like she didn't even get the 10K because she called 911 and not like the tips hotline. So
Wow.
yeah, so she didn't even get the money, and like you know, as Luigi was arrested, which like yeah, he should have been. I'm not out here like thinking he should just be, like he shouldn't be punished at all for what he did. Like if you kill somebody, like yeah, that's bad, of course. It's just that like yeah, perfect victim, quote unquote. Do you mean like innocent or perfect victim? Bad irony, exactly. I feel like the 10K was like not a lot of money, personal. Like it's a lot of money, but like I feel like we as a people should have just waited until like they just like up the price. Like,
Mhm.
it's like let's see how high they can go. I'm just curious. That's what. That's just the dark side of me thinking. It's like when I
Right.
saw that amount, I'm like, hmm, okay. I thought the prize from the city was higher than what the company was offering. Oh, I've heard like $50,000 and also heard $10,000. So I'm not sure what the amount was. She got 5K from the local news or something? I thought it was
That's
like I thought she was planning on like splitting it between like her and a customer for 5,000 and 5,000 for the 10,000. I don't know. The money thing is strange. Right? Yeah. I'm like really? You mean like I'm not saying 10K is chump change. Like 10K is a good chunk of change, yeah. But like I don't know, like 10K, you can still burn through that very quickly. Like you can burn through that in less than a year.
no. Yes, you can.
Yeah.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Like,
Like,
and even then, I'll put it to you guys like this. My car, when I bought it back in 2020, I paid just under 10K for it, used.
mhm,
Just under 10K for it. And mind you, I was also on unemployment. So, like, for the longest time, my unemployment, I would certify, doing all what I was supposed to do, but I was like given back pay of a decent amount. And when I got my card and all the other good stuff, yeah, that joint was gone.
mhm.
Just for me getting car registered, tags, insured, had to get an oil change done, all within the amount, all in that time span of like a month. Like, yeah, 10K is nothing really. It's
No.
really nothing. It's not even worth it. But I'm glad I got it. Glad I got my car.
Yeah, of
But even
course.
even though now it's getting up there in age, and I know I gotta get it. I know I have to trade it in because I'm dealing with a bunch of electrical issues with it, a bunch of it. Just to
Mm.
kind of put everything in perspective, like 10K, nah.
Yeah. Yeah, like I was thinking because like I spent about like 15, 16K on my car because I bought it used in an auction and then I had to
Hmm.
get fixed up, so I had to pay, like that's why in totality it was about 15, 16. And yeah, like it's like really? Like I don't know. Like it's sad because it's like this is the country that we're living in though. Like we're out here on a live stream talking about how little 10K is, but like apparently like this man's life was worth like pretty much just 24-hour news for days and even still
Hmm.
happening and then 10K to find the shooter, but like um I mean usually like for school shooters or mass shooters they tend to find the shooter very quickly. So I don't know if I ever knew of one that like there was a mass shooting and then they were just gone for days. Like usually they either kill themselves or they
Ooh,
they get arrested quickly.
ooh, yeah. I know one. Like way back in the day, I must have been like a either in middle school or high school. But you guys remember on the East Coast where a lot of the women were getting like sniped?
Like punched in the face?
No, like they were getting shot, like legit
Really?
getting shot. Oh yeah.
Oh damn. When was
Oh,
this, sorry?
this was I want to say DC area, East Coast area, but um, there was a string of murders that were going around where the victims were like white women with like a certain hair color, certain eye color, and they were just getting like sniped. Like one or two of them were getting shot like a day, and it was going on for like a string of like 2 weeks. And and they were shooting from a vehicle. Yep, because
Oh, damn.
they couldn't figure out like how they were doing it, and so eventually, um, what ended up happening? There was a vehicle that kind of looked suspicious, and so um, somebody called it in, and sure enough, it was the shooters. And what ended up happening was, guy was in the front seat. He was driving, getting in position. There was the shooter. The actual shooter was in the trunk, and so where the keyhole would have normally been to open up the trunk with your key, it got cut out, and it was retrofitted with it was retrofitted with a with the ability to have like the barrel of the sniper to kind of like, I wouldn't say protrude, but you'll be able to get a clean shot, and they'll do the shooting and they'll be gone. And so they're like, yeah, like it was a 2-man group, and excuse me,
Oh my god. Yeah, I did not know about
yeah,
this.
oh yeah,
How
yes.
long ago was this?
This was almost like over 20 years ago.
Oh,
This was
yeah, that's
over
probably
20 years ago. This is over 20 years ago. But yeah, they pop somebody, go off. Pop somebody and go off. And what made it kind of weird was they never really left. Like they would leave the state, but they would never necessarily leave like that actual area. And so they
gotcha.
were just like, at first they thought it was just like some random murders, but they were all within the same vicinity of one another. And it was like, yeah,
That's crazy. Did they
yeah,
like that? So they were just killing like just white women with a certain
yeah,
hair color, certain eye color. That's
yep.
so. That is so freaking bizarre.
You know what?
And it was
And
two.
Mark,
It was like a two-man operation because one was driving, the other one was like
yeah,
in the
and
trunk.
if I remember correctly, I I felt I thought it was like a father son duo. Mark, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but it was a father son duo. The father was driving, the son was the shooter.
That's crazy. That is so nuts.
Yeah,
That is so nuts. Because I was
hmm
thinking like maybe it was like a gang initiation, but like it wouldn't like yeah, like that's that's still like regardless, it's still insane.
yeah, it was. Yeah,
So it was like
yeah,
family, definitely like family.
yeah. It was like right after 9/11, which made everything even that much weirder. It was like you had 9/11, and then right after 9/11, boom, you had that thing happen.
That's insane.
Oh yeah, I remember watching. I was downstairs in the living room. I was watching. I'm like, really? Like, okay. So my when we got shot, all right, cool. Yeah, whatever. But when it was like, okay, when it came up to like 4 or 5, then I was like, okay, something's really fishy, especially if they're all kind of within the same characteristics of one another. And I think there was one that was kind of like a random that didn't necessarily fit the profile. Yeah, Gail, they were black. That's what made
Yeah.
the trip. They were black.
Gotcha. Oh yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. That makes sense.
Yep. Oh yeah, we're gonna get into that one too because that was even wild too. That one's
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah, Rocky, there was a shooter yesterday. It was like a 15-year-old girl. She like shot up some kids at like a Christian school, then shot herself. Oh,
They weren't related. Okay.
yeah. So that was like the only, yeah. But like, if any of you all can remember like a time when there was like a shooter that I guess just shot somebody random and then just kind of, got away with it or like wasn't like, tracked. Because I know like stuff like that happens in like, like in the hood, like in the projects, like all the time.
Oh yeah.
You know, like so. I remember, like in Jay Z's song, I don't know the name of the song. But he goes like, "Cough up a lung, yeah, I'm from Mossy Son, ain't that nice?" Like he has a line that goes like the news cameras never come, like
Mm.
police don't even show up anymore, type of thing. And I'm like, I that's insanity. Like how bad your neighborhood, your area must be that like they just don't care anymore. So like I can't imagine how how people who are from Mossyville, Brooklyn, um, because I'm sure like I don't know if Jay Z has made it better. I don't really haven't heard anything. Probably hasn't, but like or like in people like in areas like that where like they hear about this and like the only like we can't deny like the only reason why we truly cared is because you know the man was a CEO of a insurance company.
Hmm.
And also because it was like I guess like a planned attack, obviously. Like, but mainly it's because it's like because I heard about it pretty much soon after it happened. Like my brother texted the family that like the CEO of United Healthcare was murdered, and I was like, oh crap, that's crazy. And then like the story just started to get massive and unravel from there, and it's because like my brother works in the healthcare field, like well the health insurance field, I should say. So this was of course like a huge story, and then he most likely got the news very early and then shared it with us, and it was just like pretty crazy. But then it just like the shooter was still at large, so they didn't like it just became like this big thing, and then everybody's grievances about the health insurance company, the health insurance um field essentially, like everything about health insurance is just like nobody likes it. Like it's just stupid and pointless. We pay so much money into it every paycheck, every week, every month or whatever.
No, I
That
appreciate it.
yeah, no, your hair does look nice.
Thank you. I tried. Thank you.
Yeah. I was talking to my therapist about it. Um not your hair, Ron, but about insurance companies.
Mm-hmm.
And he was saying how, because like he's always like he's complained to me about insurance companies before, but he's also a therapist, so like he's got to, of course, like be positive. And like he was saying how like he feels like insurance companies are like just like the biggest scam, the biggest ripoff, like car insurance, health insurance. It's like you always pay into this thing, and then when it's time to use it, you still have to pay, and then you also have to pay like $10,000 before you can actually like use it. You have to pay like this $10,000 deductible or whatever your deductible is. Yeah. and
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, and then insurance companies can deny you your medicine even though the doctor prescribed it to you, which makes no sense. Like the doctor knows more than like this person who was just hired to do insurance, you know? And like I was just thinking about how there's like a lot of just like middlemen for no apparent reason that they just need to kind of like put in to a place to make it okay. I remember my friend was telling me about, like pretty much the marijuana industry.
Mm-hmm.
It was illegal, it was illegal, it was bad, it was bad, it was illegal, it was bad, and now they found a way to like put in a middleman. It's okay now. Like like they just need somebody to just make a whole bunch of money with it for no reason instead of just like I can't just grow this plant and give you some of the plant, Ron, or just sell you some of the plant if you want. I can't do that. There needs to be like some middle person for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
And so like I've just been kind of like thinking that lately. I'm like, yeah, we kind of just like do these things and there really is like no reason to do these things. We just normalized it. And of course insurance companies, pay the politicians to create the laws to make it so that you need these sort of things when you don't, but they're able to teach us, promote it, and make it so that you need these people for a thing that,
Mm-hmm.
you know, isn't necessary. Absolutely, Mark. It's so crazy just kind of being like born into this system and you start to like think and realize stuff especially as you get older and you're like a lot of this is just so pointless. And like they just keep trying to tell you that there's a point to it. And I'm like, no, doesn't seem like there's like a point to it really.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
then they just talk around it because they can't really tell you the point because they know that there's no point. They just do this thing because it just exists and it's always existed and you got to just kind of have it be here and it's just the way that it is. And then like they hire somebody else and the person before them teaches them how to do the job and they just keep doing the job the exact same way and then like that's just kind of how we come into like this cycle of what am I doing really? Like what is the point of this really? But they think that they're like doing something because it was a job on Indeed that they applied for and they got the job type of thing, and they saw
Mm-hmm.
what you need, they saw the qualifications for the job, so they get the job and they're doing the job, but they're not really like it's like what is it that we're really doing?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. And then
I'm
you
telling
try to
you.
yeah, you try to question it, you try to change it, and you just get just yelled down your throat because it's like, hey, can we just make it less expensive? Why do we spend more than every other country? And it's the worst. Like, we spend more than any other country on health insurance and healthcare to worse results. But we can't make universal healthcare because reasons, just vibes.
Mhm.
So we have it tied to our jobs. So if you don't have a job, then health insurance is just harder to come by. It's not impossible, but it's incredibly more difficult. Companies are
Mhm.
paying a lot for health insurance. And if you're trying to start your own company, you got to worry and think about health insurance. Where if we just had universal healthcare or like a single payer healthcare or, both, in tandem with each other or something like that, then it would have just been a lot better.
Mhm.
More people would probably try to go into like the healthcare field, not just for the money, but like because they actually want to be doing this. There'll probably, more doctors, more nurses, more staff because we're like short on nurses. We're having
Mhm.
a nurse shortage. But yeah. Yeah, same here, Go. I think about it a lot too, and like just how pointless a lot of this is, unfortunately. And
Right.
then like it's just the people who are older than us, who lived before us, created it this way, and we just it's it's annoying. It's
Mhm.
it's just so tiresome because I always hear of stories, and this will be my last point. Like I always hear stories of people who are like, "Oh, I got hurt in South Korea, and it only cost me $74 at the hospital, even though I broke my arm." And it's like, "Oh, I got hurt in like London, and it didn't barely cost me anything," or "I got hurt in like Belgium, and it barely cost me anything," and went to Amsterdam, and didn't like I got hurt, and cost me anything. Like you hear about this, and then you go to America, and it costs you like $10,000. And then the insurance pays like 7,000, then you have to pay $3,000.
Right.
Giving birth isn't even free. And this guy, like, but they want people to have more babies. Like the hell.
Look, don't even get me started on the ambulance ride. Like if you got to get if you got to get an ambulance call to get you from where you're at to the hospital. Like that in itself is uh, mm, 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 mm.
That's why people
Yeah,
are calling like Ubers now to go to the hospital because like they know an ambulance costs too much.
yeah, yeah. Like it's crazy. It's crazy. But then again, like I think about car insurance the same way.
Mm.
I think about car insurance the same exact way. Like my recent, I had to switch car insurance providers, which it sucks, but that was on me. My bad. Whatever. So when I switched, I got quoted for one amount. I'm like, cool, great. I can do that. That's no big deal. I can manage that. So when it came time for me to pay, I got quoted something totally different. I'm like, I can't afford this. I can't.
Mm.
I know I need it, but I really can't afford this. Like the down payment just to get everything started, even with all the discounts and all the other stuff that comes with it to kind of make it lower. Like I can't do that. Like no, but then again, the crazy thing about it is, out of all the quotes that I've gotten, you guys are the cheapest one for the down payment and the monthly payment, and like that sucks. That sucks tremendously. So I'm like, you know what? Just run it through because this is irritating. This is irritating. And so I know that I gotta stick with it for the next 6 months and make sure that everything goes well, or if I can pay it all up front and just be done with it for good riddance for the next 6 months, I'd rather do that because car insurance is the worst.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I
I've
mean,
been
don't get
doing
me.
it like
Go
six
ahead.
months as well. Yeah, that's. I'm just saying I've been doing like the 6 month thing as well since I moved over to State Farm.
Yeah,
Peter Thiel say no more. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I'm with Team Progressive again. I mean, but even then, like I had State Farm for like years.
Mm,
You know, they've always treated me well and they handled all of our stuff well. So I had no issue with them. And even then, like my agent, she was based out of Grand Rapids, which again is not too far from where I live. It's still within the same state, and we've talked, had personal conversations, and everything else, and it was cool. It was great. Like I love this. Like absolutely, absolutely. Now, gotta suck it up, Buttercup.
mm, yeah. I was just thinking how, like, with car insurance, because, you know, car crashes and car accidents are like inevitable.
Hmm.
Um, like it's, I'm not saying like to everyone's gonna happen, but it's like a day doesn't go by without a car crash.
Hmm.
And, you know, whatever your insurance is, it's just to kind of help the car and maybe bodily injury, depending on like the insurance that you have. And then you have health insurance on top of that, which is, so it's like you just got like insurance on top of insurance.
Hmm.
And it's like, and I'm like a big urbanist fan, and wish that like public transportation and like walkability and like cycling, like bikeability was like more prevalent. A large part of it is just because it's just safer. There'll
Yeah.
be like less chance of less cars on the road, less accidents, less crashes, less, injury to human beings. And the fact that it's like you make society, you know, it just seems like a lot of like damn near every aspect of society is to like pretty much essentially like hurt us or make us fail in some capacity.
Hmm.
Like it's not to our benefit. So we're more than like, you know, people get into car crashes all the time. It could be a life-changing thing. It could be um a short-term change thing. And
Hmm.
you might have to go to a chiropractor or like some kind of doctor, or god forbid, like an ambulance, get into the the hospital sort of thing because you were going to work, or just going to the grocery store, or going to Dunkin' Donuts, and then like your life changes because of just a quick errand that shouldn't have been a risk to your body, to your personhood.
Hmm.
And then like you have to like pay, yeah, then you're have another stress on your brain of like, oh crap, I gotta like pay for like my car and for my body and health insurance. Like how much is that gonna cost while you're probably being like loaded up into the ambulance? And also thinking about how much the ambulance is gonna cost.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Bet you will still be forced to have auto insurance even after self. Yeah. Also self-driving. um, is like it's just a way to sort of like pacify the reason. Like it's not necessarily solving anything because if anything, it's just going to put more cars on the road.
Hmm.
Um, like I saw an example of like um,
You can win. Yes.
like I saw. I'll see if I can find the video of like of autonomous cars and share it in the Discord of like what is more than likely going to happen. So like they gave an example of like let's say there's like a mom who has I don't know like two kids and
Hmm.
then she also works. Normally like her and the two kids all pile into the car. She drops off the first kid at school and the second kid at the other school, and then she goes to work. So she just uses one car. If autonomous cars were, just readily and prevalent, one autonomous car will come to the house to pick up the younger son, another one will come to pick up the older son, and then a third one will come to pick up the mom. So that's three cars on the road when normally it would have just been one car.
Hmm.
If anything, it'll probably just become a small bus, that could fit, 5, 6 people in a car. I guess like five, one in
Hmm.
the driver's seat, one in passenger, and then the three in the back. And then it's like, oh, these 5 kids in this neighborhood all go to the same school. And like normally they would be able to just walk to the school or cycle to the school. But because there's just more cars on the road and everyone's taking autonomous cars, they all just get picked up by an autonomous vehicle and then just drive into the school, which will just it might save cars. Like it might actually be less because instead of having like 5 parents take their kid, it'll be one. So like maybe in that case it could be. I don't know. I don't know how exactly it would play out, but yeah, I just think that kids are going to be kind of afraid to to like just to know that they're going to be afraid of their own independence because
Hmm.
they're going to be afraid to like just go outside or like take the bus with their friends or walk to the bus stop, and they're not going to know how to do that, and it's just going to be kind of sad. Yeah, but you have to be like out of a certain like range
Yes.
to get to be to be bussed in to the school.
Yes. Yes. That in just to go to L's point, that's the one thing my school district that we're dealing with. A lot of kids who would normally come to my building, they they rely on the bus to get them there. And because a lot of redistricting has been going around, and a lot of kiddos who normally come would normally ride the bus, that's not an option anymore. And they are basically told like, this is your home school, you have to go to your home school, and based upon your address, that's where you have to go. And some people are like, well, this homeschool I really don't like because of A, B, C, and D. I'd rather have my kids to go somewhere else. Or why should I split up my family because of everything that's going on? Uh, it's a mess. It's a mess. Is it slowly getting worked out? Absolutely. But I think somebody said it best. They have to want to change to make it better, to make it work. You know. And Rocky, you ain't right, but you're right. You're not right, but you're right. and even then, like the phrase itself, you know, a lot of people don't even know what that phrase means. Like, what do you mean to go touch grass? Like, go outside and be in the nature, get dirty, be a kid for once.
Mm-hmm.
Be a kid. Get hot, get sweaty, smell like outside, come in, take a shower, take a bath, get some dinner, go to sleep. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Right, Ender. Right. No, that's absolutely correct. Or using somebody
Yeah.
else's address. That was big. When I was going to school, like, yeah, I mean, is it okay if I can use your address so I can go to this school and not this school? Absolutely. Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes. That was a thing. And it was beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like I don't think there's anything wrong with like living with like raising your child in the city. Because I know that like the suburbs were like really sold to us. It's like, oh, you have kids, then you go and you go live in the suburbs, and then you live, and then you raise them in the suburbs. I'm like, you don't really have to do that. Like,
No.
did Hey Arnold not teach you guys anything?
Man, yes. That man, he was living way beyond his years. Way beyond.
Yeah.
But it's in a very weird part though. It's very much accurate if you think about it.
Mm.
Very much accurate. Very much accurate. And especially when when a lot of people they get like the LED lights and they place them in the room to kind of change the mood of the room. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, accurate. It then instead of having like a big stereo system, um, stoop kids afraid to stoop. I don't know. I don't know. One stoop kid got off that stoop, it was a wrap.
I know. That was scary. But we're also proud of Stoop Kid.
Yes, yes, yes. Well, yeah, yeah. Kids nowadays they can get like a Bluetooth speaker and have the Bluetooth speaker to get paired with their LED lights, and depending upon the song, the lights pretty much change to the color of the song or what the song might be. Like, yeah, it's pretty dope. Pretty dope. Pretty dope. So just throwing that one out there.
Mhm.
And so I know somebody had mentioned about the shooting that happened up in Wisconsin and
Mhm.
how it's a girl and whatnot. And I know before stream, we were kind of like, chatting and talking. And I was reading an article because I heard somebody at my job was telling me about it. I'm like, really? A girl shot up a school? And we were all surprised. We're like, yeah, a girl shot up a school. Like, that's different in a very weird way. Like, okay,
Mhm.
very much like, okay, that's weird. So doing some reading upon it and statistically, as far as what the article was saying, statistically, having a female shooter is rare in its own right.
Mhm.
When the majority of the school shootings, mass shootings that have taken place, they've been like males or men, to say the least. And like, yeah, got it. Now, that's not to say that women can't do the same thing. Like, nah, they could very well do the same thing. Very well.
Huh, I haven't heard that name in years.
Oh yeah, I read that. I saw that article too. I saw that article too. I'm like, all right. He still got an arm though. That's crazy. He still has an arm. Cam Newton, he still has an arm.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah. People tend to forget that happens with like a lot of things, and that can get very, very annoying.
Hmm.
That's why I always say stories speak louder than statistics,
Yes.
which is not always the best. Because they'll be like, trying to think. It's like everything is just controversial. They'll be like, oh, I don't, I don't think. It's like, oh, I'm not gonna vaccinate my children because I wasn't vaccinated. I'm fine. It's like, okay, but like you gotta understand that if a majority of people are vaccinated, especially like against something like polio, for example,
Hmm.
like all these people, all these other bodies were fighting the virus. Like if people stop getting vaccinated for polio, like it's going to start coming back a bit. It's not gone.
Right.
So, but it's like just because you weren't vaccinated against polio doesn't mean that like it's not going to affect like you or your child or someone that you know. So
Mhm.
like it's just like yeah, if like 97% of people are vaccinated against polio, for example, there's going to be 3% they're going to talk, like
Mhm.
and systemic problems to ignore people's real life situations and vice versa. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Like it gets very annoying. And like
Yes.
yeah, you always got to tell a good story. Everything needs a good story. Now people are questioning polio. Like, I know, right? It's like, oh well, I don't know anyone who's had polio. I was like, well, that's because of vaccines. I don't know what to tell you. Not for
Right.
America.
Right. Right. And actually, a little pointed fact. Let's see. This is December, so about October, November, somewhere in that time frame. I had to go to a luncheon at the local health department, and one of the representatives for Pfizer was there. Like cool, nonchalant guy. I'm all right, cool, great. He bought his lunch, and so we were talking about specific illnesses and sicknesses that's been showing prevalent within the county, within um, the three counties. So it'll be my county and the next two counties east of us. How a lot of illnesses and sicknesses have been coming up and becoming more prevalent, and we were told to keep an eye out. The representative from Pfizer were like, "Yeah, you know, we want to have people to keep getting the COVID booster shots and this and the third." He said, but do keep in mind that with this new strand of COVID that's coming out, the current booster shot that we have doesn't protect individuals from the new strand. Mind you, these are all like secretaries and other representatives from like various school sectors. We're kind of like, huh? What's going on? And it was like, yeah. Excuse me. It was like, yeah. Like we know there's a new strain of COVID out, and the current vaccines or the current vaccine and or booster that we currently have doesn't protect you from that variation
Mm-hmm.
of COVID. He said, but it protects you from everything else. We're like, okay, like, sir, thank you for the information, but how does that protect the kids from the new one if you are saying that you don't have a new vaccine to ready to go for this new strand? And a lot of the secretaries, they kind of like voice their opinions. They're like, what's that going to do for our school building? What's that going to do for our students, for the staff, for the teachers? Because if some kid comes in and they get tested for COVID, but yet there's a new COVID out that doesn't meet those test criteria, what are we going to do as a building? What are we going to do to protect us? And Bill was like, well, pretty much do the best you can. We're like, wow, okay, sir, that's kind of helpful, but also not helpful. But thank you for lunch, you know. So
Mm-hmm.
it was really one of those weird. It was really one of those weird things where we're like, yeah, I don't know how I feel. We don't know how we feel about this right now, but we'll take whatever information you can give us, because at the end of the day, if you're telling us to push vaccines, and if at the end of the day some work, some don't work, okay, okay. So just a little tad bit.
Yeah. No, I got you. Uh,
You've been knowing a lot about.
but I think we're gonna have to land this plane down safely. Help on the new stratos. I know. Like that is a rough sell. It's
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it doesn't hurt because it'll help with like any older strands running around, but I don't know. Like, yes, yes, Chad. It is bedtime. It is 10:55.
Hmm.
But thank you all so much for watching. You guys are absolutely amazing, wonderful, sexy people. Pictures of
Hmm.
you should show up on everyone's Twitters,
Hmm.
not, just random porn bots. Legitimate porn people should show up too, like if they're trying to make a living, but not as often as y'all should be showing up, of course.
Hmm.
With that said, we love y'all. Thank y'all so much for coming out
Yes.
tonight.
Yes.
This
Thank
was
you,
a
guys.
this was a great episode. Our next episode would be slated for New Year's Eve, and I am like 900% sure all of y'all, including myself, will be will be busy.
Hmm.
Because I was like thinking like, oh, maybe like early in the day. I was like, well, I work, so like I couldn't. I don't even think I could even do that. So I'm not taking off any time for the holidays, except for the
Uh,
days themselves.
mm,
But it's going to be a chill work days. But regardless, thank you all so much. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah. Happy New Year. If
Yes.
we have that. Let's see. But yes, Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. We love you all so much. We'll
Mm-hmm.
be, of course, chatting in the Discord. You never recover from your right, yeah.
They need some black coffee, but milk will work.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely take pictures and share with us in the Discord what y'all are doing for Christmas, Hanukkah, the holidays, like whatever you get, whatever you're giving, if if you don't mind sharing, that would be
Mm-hmm.
awesome. What y'all are drinking, what y'all are eating.
Mm.
Yeah. If you want to share pictures or not, you could just text us. That's fine too. We love any and everything that you share with us
Yes.
because it's never porn. And that's our favorite thing to receive is not porn.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah. Like I can't imagine how y'all men are going through with just like getting all that on your feet. That's wild. As we're getting the carpet clean in the morning. I feel you. I feel that. But hey, you made time to get your carpet clean. That's good. But I guess for myself. I mean, I surprise myself all the time whenever Amazon shows up to my house sometimes. I'm like, what did I order?
That's bad.
I know it happens sometimes. Let's get a package and I'm like, I remember buying something, but what did I even buy?
Mm.
Bless you. Salute.
Thank you.
Yes. But yes, let us know what y'all get for Christmas and share with us, your Happy New Year messages.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess we'll see y'all next year.
Yes.
Yeah. In 2025. Let us know your New Year's resolutions and all that. But yeah, we'll definitely chat in the Discord.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We'll see y'all. We
See
love
ya.
y'all. Have a great
Do
night.
in the confetti.